welcome to episode 7. It is Christmas Day. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you are having a wonderful holiday. In complete transparency, this is our first show ever to be pre-recorded. However, we are at the Tuscan Cafe in Northville on Main Street, so please come check them out when they are open again. Like every show, we are starting with coffee of the day, and I am drinking my usual. It is a triple grande almond milk latte, so thank you so much for that. So Christmas Day and a lot of phones, iPads, and Macs being unwrapped today. So how do you keep your kids safe online? You know, we ask that question all the time. We go back and forth with, is screen time harmful? How much screen time? On and on it goes. So we are joined by John Patterson, cybersecurity expert and co-founder of That Random Agency. And John, thanks so much for coming out here to be with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So, okay, it's been an ongoing issue, right? We go back and forth with kids. Screen time, what age should they have a screen? How much should they watch, right? So there's so many issues, but kids are getting younger and younger when it comes to getting those screens.
Yeah, I mean, especially this season, right? I mean, you have twins. I'm sure they have screens.
Oh, yes.
We're seeing more and more kids get screens younger and younger, and there's just not a lot of tools for parents to help tell those kids how to be safe online. And so, you know, while we obviously want to limit screen time, we know there are some developmental things that can happen. It's not totally our enemy, right? It is a tool that kids can use to learn and interact and have fun. And they just want to make sure that we want to make sure that they do it safely, right? And you know, my wife, when we started talking about this project, it really quickly came, kind of became clear to us that this is something that people needed to be able to have a tool to educate kids in a fun way, right? That didn't feel so scary.
Right, for sure. So you are talking about the Internet Safety Sammy book, right?
Yes, correct, yeah.
Okay, so you guys wrote that, but did AI help with that?
We did, actually. So AI wrote it. So it was something that, we're not authors, right? We're a marketing agency, but we knew that AI tools were going to be something that were going to change our industry, and we really wanted to make sure that we understood them, the ins and outs and the risks and all the positive and really powerful things that AI can do.
And people think it's so scary.
They do, right?
So it's kind of, I mean, what do you think about that?
So we're not scared of it. Part of the reason we did this was so that we wouldn't be afraid, right? And by doing something that's useful, that was just for us or just for families and kids, it was a great way to really push the tools. Tools like ChatGPT or Midjourney that you might have heard of are basically the tools that we use to write the content and create the illustrations for the book.
How long did that take?
It took us about 2 weeks start to finish because we did have humans edit everything that came out because as great as AI can be, it can be wrong and it can create things that are not true. Right,
and it sounds a little weird sometimes, right? It just sounds off, right?
Yes, it will sound a little robotic.
Like a robot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Internet Safety Sammy, who's that appropriate for? What age?
Yeah, so I would say anybody up to the age of 5, and the reason that we targeted that is that's where really there was an opportunity. I mean, there's lots of things and resources for kids that can read, right? So I mean, your twins, I'm sure that they could go and find things, or you could point them to things that they could do on their own.
Well, so they're almost 12, and it's so interesting to me is that all the research that they really do, right? So they do use it for good, but sometimes they use it for bad, right?
Well, and it's the things. It's a lot of times not even intentional, right? I mean, I don't know if this happened to you, but it's happened to a lot of our parent friends where you set them in front of YouTube for an appropriate amount of screen time,
right?
And because of YouTube's algorithm, all of a sudden they're into some weird political thing or something that you're like, how did you end up here? Right? And so by helping them understand when they see something that maybe is inappropriate for them, even at a very young age, because kids are savvy, it helps them be a little safer and it helps give parents a little peace of mind.
Yeah, and in my twins' defense, one of them the other day said, I think this might be inappropriate. I'm going to turn this off.
Right.
So I was glad of that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, okay, so Internet Safety Sammy, how would somebody access that?
Yeah, so we're on Amazon, so that's the main way that you can get the book. It ships really fast. Amazon's really great at getting it out. It's the nice thing is it's short, it's illustrated, so you can actually read it to kids and they'll stay engaged. My niece loves it. Obviously we have a 6-week-old. My wife's at home. Thank you. Obviously he doesn't know what's going on yet. He has no screens. But it's that's kind of what inspired us and inspired her to actually go out and create it. She's actually the author on the book. So that's something that was really important for us, for her to be championing that, because that was something as she became a mom that she realized, like, oh wow, like the world's a little bit more dangerous than I thought it was.
There's all these issues.
There's all these things, but we can help, right? Because we're residents of the internet, so we really understand end where those things where you can really get yourself into a dangerous situation, or for a child who can see something that might, damage them or cause trauma.
So this is good for kids up to 5. Do you have any plans for older kids?
So maybe, what was interesting is that this was as much a exercise for us to really push AI as an agency to see, well, could we even do this?
Okay.
Right? Because we're not a publisher. We don't intend to make tons of books. But, it seems like there's been a need, and if we continue to see a need, we might make some, additional entries in the Internet Safety Sammy series, or maybe another character that can help explore other parts of the internet.
Right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I hope people check out this book, and of course, Internet Safety Sammy, available on Amazon, right?
On Amazon, yep.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank
of course,
you so much.
We've been speaking to John Patterson, and we do want to remind you of our Act of Caffeinated Kindness this month. It is supporting Teen Clean Closet. We will take a closer look at what they do. Coming up right after this break, we are in Northville.
My Michigan TV is streaming everywhere on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and more smart TV apps. My Michigan TV is on your phone too. Take us with you wherever you go. Just search for My Michigan TV on your favorite app store or visit mymitv.com. On your TV, on your phone, on the web. All Michigan streaming everywhere. My Michigan TV.
Traverse City, where falling flakes give rise to wintry pursuits, like a daring descent down a black diamond run, or riding the rails at a local terrain park, a silent glide across glistening snow, or making first tracks in a remote pine forest. Then relaxing, at last, with a warm cup and good company, as the fire crackles and the flakes keep falling. In Traverse City, life is better when you're in a pretty great place. Visit traversecity.com.
Merry Christmas from Alloy Rochester.
Hey, welcome back to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. We are live from our new location, which is Tuscan Cafe in downtown Northville, right on Main Street. Come and say hi to Will and his team. We are so grateful to be here. And of course, downtown Northville decorated for the holiday season, which of course is all about giving season. And that is why we are so excited to announce our Act of Caffeinated Kindness for December. Kim Johnson is the co-founder of Teen Clean Closet. Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, don't.
It's a little.
TCC is the little abbreviation we use.
Okay, I like that. TCC. Okay, Kim, tell me what TCC is.
So Teen Clean Closet is a nonprofit that we operate primarily out of the Royal Oak area. And what our objective is to provide hygiene items to anyone really in the area that needs them at no cost in a no questions asked atmosphere.
How big of a, I don't want to say problem, but I mean, this is really relevant.
It is very relevant. So Teen Clean Closet started in October of 2017, and our concept was literally just a closet. Modern day, we have 6 full-time locations, 3 in our school system, and 3 what we consider to be more public locations. We have a mini closet in one of our elementary schools, and we support a lot of our community partners, think food banks, that type of thing. It is a very significant issue.
And kids, you mentioned being, some are embarrassed sometimes, or you would think that they have what they need, but they don't. And these items like deodorant or toothbrushes, I mean, they get bullied for that stuff, right?
And that was our core, one of the reasons we started at the teen level was because the teenage years are so hard, and for the reasons you mentioned. When you get stuck with a stigma, it can follow you into adulthood. And so an intervention like Teen Clean Closet, making products available in a no questions asked atmosphere, with no cost really can be a life-altering opportunity for some of these young people. And that's not to be understated. When they can come to an administrator in their building and say, we don't have this at home, or oftentimes an administrator or teacher will suspect and offer that option, then they can also solve their own problem. And then we're instilling a sense of confidence. We're also allowing a relationship to be built. There's a lot of good that comes just from being able to get your own hygiene items.
And that's so, I mean, it's so interesting because we don't think about that.
We don't. There's a lot of focus on food insecurity and housing, even medical care, which hygiene can go hand in hand with that as well. And sometimes it's overlooked, and that's okay because there are a lot of things that are happening right now, but it's important, and it helps in so many ways. Confidence, it can help alleviate illnesses. If we can teach and provide items for good hygiene, we can also decrease medical needs potentially. Good oral hygiene prevents needs for repeat dental visits. There's a lot of things that all
has a ripple
together.
Effect.
It does.
Right? And you don't really think about that.
You don't, because when you and I get up, we take a shower, we put on deodorant, we brush our teeth, we do our hair, but what if those things aren't available? And what's the easiest way to get them? Through the schools.
So you are our Caffeinated Kindness Act for December.
Yes, thank you so much.
You are welcome. And because I have tweens, not teens yet, but they're tweens. They act like teenagers. And I can just imagine how this must be for kids. So tell me how we can help you.
So right now, our usage in our 6 locations is up 20% year over year from 2022. Obviously due to inflation, but we also did an expansion. So now we're helping at our senior community center closet. So we always make the joke that the seniors are grandfathered in because they used to be teens too.
Right.
So right now what we need the most of are our everyday products.
Okay.
So think deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, hand soap, chapstick, moisturizer. Michigan's about to get real harsh. I know it's very nice outside today,
ironically.
but it's going to get cold.
Right.
And so we want to make sure they're protecting their skin, they're protecting their lips, they're doing the basic oral hygiene, they're cleaning their bodies. Just things like basic hygiene needs that you and I use every day.
What about feminine hygiene products?
Period products are always needed, always used, always distributed. Period products have gone up about 15%, so they're doubling the rate of inflation right now. Governor Whitmer did repeal the period products tax, which has helped, but they're expensive, so we can always use period products.
Okay, so there's not a location that people can drop off items, or is there?
There are 2.
Okay.
So 2 of our public locations are the Royal Oak Senior Center Community Center, and that's near Royal Oak High School.
Okay.
You can drop off there during the day between 9 and 4. And then we have the Metro Detroit Youth Club, which is in the south end of Royal Oak on Lincoln and Campbell. And again, 9 to 4, you can drop off there. If someone's in the area, we can always come into a pickup. But preferred probably would be a wish list donation. We have an Amazon wish list.
Okay, so how do people find that?
So you can just go to Amazon and search Teen Clean Closet. You can also go to our website, which is teencleancloset.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a donate button.
Okay.
And it's got links to everything. On our website, we also have another page that offers additional resources. So if anybody sees this and might need additional resources in our area, there's some links to some additional resources for
Okay, and of course we'll put your link on our website too, so people can get involved. And do you need volunteers at all?
Right now we don't.
Okay.
3 of our locations are in the schools, so with security being what it is, we try to keep that pretty tight. But you can always follow us on our social media, and if the opportunity comes up for volunteers, that's what we'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. And I know I found you on Facebook.
Yes, we did connect.
Yeah,
your work at Great Harvest and your coat drive.
Yes. So it was so, it's been so interesting to connect, and if you really just pay attention to the posts you're seeing, and honestly, it was the name that I was like, I wonder what that is. Yeah. Right? So thank you for all you do, and we're happy to help for the month of December. We hope you get a lot of donations. Again, the Amazon wish list, right?
Yes.
Okay. And anything else that you want people to know?
Just share the conversation conversation. I guess it's not always, sometimes you don't have the extra funds right now to make the donations, and even with the previous guests, a lot of us are just have conversations, and we know that what we do is hard, and sometimes it's deep, and sometimes it's sad, but having conversation and putting it out in the open provides opportunities to help solve those problems and take them out of the shadows, and I think that's important.
And it all builds community.
It does. It does. People want to help. They just don't know how. And if you are specific and can have conversations, it'll make a difference. We're making a difference.
Okay, well, you know what? Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes.
Merry Christmas from Time War!
Welcome back. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I'm Brooke Allen. We are at the Tuscan Cafe in downtown Northville, Michigan. It is on Main Street. A beautiful place, of course. It is Christmas Day. And we are with Jim Pappas. He is an architect. And Jim, tell me the name of your company.
Fusco, Shaffer, and Pappas.
Okay, so you are an architect.
Yes.
But you do so much work with the local nonprofits. So tell me about that.
Well, many years ago, we made a conscious effort to focus on working with nonprofit organizations, groups that provide housing for elderly, like Presbyterian Villages of Michigan, groups that provide housing for children, like Vista Maria and Christ Child, and groups that provide shelters, like COTS and NSO. And we purposely focused on those because it's my belief that whatever you do in life, you deserve to give a little bit back. And that's part of our philosophy in our organization.
And it's always been, right?
And it's always been this way.
Okay, so the projects that you mentioned, you are personally involved with, I mean, whatever those nonprofits need, designing the space they need.
Absolutely.
In the way they need it.
We provide full services from the initial concept through the design process and then all the way through construction until they move in. And then even after the fact, they come back and make improvements, renovations as projects age, things change, and there might be some new things that happen. So it's not unusual to come back after 15 years and renovate them.
And do it all over again,
yes.
Right? So the projects, I don't know, can you tell the projects you're working on right now, or I didn't know?
Certainly.
Okay.
One for homelessness, for example, we work with Pope Francis. They have a new facility. It's under construction in Detroit.
Okay.
Another project with children is Christ Child. They provide housing for young boys, so 2 projects for children in homelessness. Some other things that we have, we're looking at a project right now with a group called Presbyterian Village, renovating housing for them in multiple locations around the state for senior housing.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yes.
So when you are passing these projects that you've worked on, what do you think? I mean, how does that make you feel?
Well, it's interesting. When I was a kid, my father was actually a painter.
Okay.
And he would drive past the project he worked on, and he would say, "I did that." And today, if I'm driving past a project with my children or grandchildren, I say, "I did that." And you take responsibility. You take pride in what you've achieved and what you've done, and it's very satisfying.
And it's so interesting because with your work, right, you actually see the results. You see it from the bottom up, and I can imagine how fulfilling that is.
It's a unique feeling, starting with a piece of dirt often. Right. And when it's all done, you have a community for seniors, a community for young children. It's very satisfying.
Right? Thanks, Jim, for all you do to change the city's landscape. And of course, if you are looking to make a year-end gift to a local nonprofit, you can check out sharedetroit.org. That is where they have a list of all the local nonprofits. Also, not only can you find the list of the nonprofits, you can also find ways to give, whether it's financially or volunteering your time. They have 4 different pillars. Again, you can check that out at sharedetroit.org. But before we wrap up, we do have a quick holiday message from one of our sponsors.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Great Harvest Bakery in Okemos.
As a Christmas present to us, give us a follow on Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, also on Instagram at Brooke Allen Official. You can also find us on Apple and Spotify and on our website, which is caffeinatedconversationswithbrookeallen.com. We would like to take a minute to acknowledge that the holidays may be tough for some people, whether due to a recent loss or a deep hurt, and it is okay not to be okay, and there are resources available. So if you are experiencing any kind of emotional distress and you need someone to talk to, they are available 24/7. You can call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 for 24/7 confidential support. If you are a veteran or military service member, you can text the Veteran Crisis Line. That number is 838-255. Well, listen, thank you so much for spending a part of your holiday with you. We will see you next year, New Year's Day at 10 a.m. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I'm Brooke Allen. Have a Merry Christmas and keep that coffee hot.